You recording?
Yeah.
Okay, hey everyone, Keith Sheesberg here. And I said a little while ago that when I got everything sorted out, I'd do a sort of a tour of my new setup because it's changed very substantially since I bought a new TV. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So, now I used to have all some of my modern consoles out in the lounge room, but since I got a modern TV in here, everything's now in my bedroom, with the exception of my PC, which I'm not going to show you because that's just no, a little office. Anyway, come on in, guys. Apologize for the warm light bulb I've got now. I actually bought one of those color changing light bulbs, which is like, it's hella bright compared to what I used to have up there. But yeah, the problem is it is a warm light, and I do prefer cool, but yeah, whatever. So if we kind of stand back here, I'll kind of give you a look. This is the new TV here, so come around. So, yeah, sorry guys about directing my camera person here. Don't know how it'll do. But yeah, this is the new main TV. It's a Viano 43-inch LCD TV, and so far I've been loving it. It does everything great. It looks great on the HD. Great color compared to what I'm used to, certainly. What was I gonna say? Yeah, the lag is damn near imperceptible. Like, I haven't done any proper like CRT comparison tests, but so far like it has been absolutely perfect, like frame perfect. Um, it also has component video on it, which is something I very much needed for my older consoles. And I'll talk about that in a second. And also composite, which a lot of TVs are starting, a lot of budget TVs are starting to cut. Thankfully, the newer OLED stuff still has it, but I'm not quite. And like yeah, the new OLED stuff quite has it. And I've heard they've managed to get lag down to less than a frame on some of the flagship TVs. But this is doing me just fine. And as you can see on the screen right now, that's the difficulty select from Bayonetta, which Harmony, my girlfriend, who is the camera person, is currently playing. Usually, so we'll just sort of go around the room. Starting over here. Got no idea what this frame looks like, so sorry if it's crap. But yeah, we have the PSP collection. I've recently got myself a PSP, as you probably know, and I've gone a bit crazy buying the games. This represents just over 3 weeks worth of collecting for the system, and I got them all at pretty good deals, so I'm pretty happy. A standout one that I've been playing a lot is Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. Love it on consoles, love it even more on portable. Well, I don't know if I love it even more, but I love it quite a bit. Other doodads, I keep the PSP up there on top of some plug and plays. I've got a special edition box thing there, Bionicle. This is an old 64 lunchbox. And we got my GameCube here. The GameCube's just for show. And don't use this GameCube. I use the Wii as a GameCube, and I'll go about that way in a second. So, come further over here, random Wiimotes. Got a bunch of Wii stuff under here. Since putting the Wii U in front of here, I've been playing a lot more Wii. So come around so they can see, Harmony. See, I got a bunch of Wii stuff in here. Wheel, the Zapper, a cool wireless nunchuck. Oh, whoops, a daisy. Dropped my chili jerky. No, chili peanut butter. Whatever. Yeah, so a bunch of random stuff under here. Got my main Wii remote, which is a cool black Motion Plus one and matching nunchuck. And yeah, so it all matches the system very nicely. And yeah, so when it comes to Wii stuff, I use the Wii that's down here purely as a GameCube, and I use the Wii U as for all the Wii stuff, because it looks slightly better when played off the Wii U, and also you've got the easier to navigate menus and all that. But yeah, so now why don't you come around here so I can see a more front-on view. Also, I'm using a bit more of a wide-angle lens, so I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work, obviously. So this is the main console setup, and we'll just quickly touch on the Wii since we started already. So I use that with Wavebird controller. I've got two, but only one's up here. And yeah, I use that as a GameCube because it is really expensive to get any kind of decent video out of a PAL GameCube. You can't get S-Video for the PAL GameCube. You've got SCART, RGB, or the hyper-expensive component cables, or you could go for one of the new HDMI solutions, which is probably your best bet. But yeah, I just couldn't be bothered with any of that when I've got perfectly good, perfectly cheap Wii sitting there. Especially since I don't have the Game Boy player yet, so yeah, all that doesn't matter. See, I've got the Wii here. This is an original model 360 non-HDMI. Why is it non-HDMI? Well, because this is the cheapest one I found. I found this unit for $35 with 2 controllers and all the cables I needed, and I wasn't going to say no at that. So yeah, the only downside is that it is component only. Well, it's component composite, you know, it's not HDMI. So, and it still runs fine. It's had the motherboard replacement at some point in its life, so I'm guessing it red ringed and they replaced it, so it shouldn't red ring too easily now, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, so yeah, I haven't played much 360 yet. Now, I don't play Xbox on the 360 because the compatibility isn't the best. So I'm just going to stick with the Xbox now. Old Wheezy, the old faithful console. That is the system name that it's hard baked in, Wheezy, and there's a story behind that. But maybe for another day. Let's try and get through this quickly. Also got PS3 in here, that's HDMI. That's also serving duty as my primary Blu-ray/DVD player, because it's pretty much the best one you can get for any reasonable budget, really. PS2 here, I told the story recently about how my childhood PS2 had failed reading blue discs, so I replaced it with this one I got actually very recently, and it's in very good nick. I'm very happy with that. And yeah, so we'll move quickly on to controllers. You see, I had this one up for testing actually. I don't normally use this. What I usually use, well, what I have been using a little bit over the last like week and a half I've had it, is Logitech wireless controllers for the Xbox and PS2 that I've found over the years. They're not perfect, not brilliant, but if you don't want to bother with wires, they're your best option. Don't bother with like the cheap ones you can find online. They won't last. They simply will not last. There's a whole series of videos on those, so I won't go over here. And I've just got some random stuff decorating here. I got a little Minecraft torch there, Minecraft redstone tap, and every time I put a console down, it like lights on, so that's cool. And of course, Xbox deodorant. You know, you gotta have that. So yeah, and now the main place where I keep the games is more or less unchanged, but of course it's opened up a lot more. I used to have my CRT, which we'll get to in a sec over there, right here, so I could watch it while I was in the bed. The CRT used to be in the corner, but then I found that I went for a long time without playing any games. I just watched movies on it. Then when I actually got around to playing games, I found that it was just too far away from the bed. So I'd love to get an armchair to game on, but whatever. But it was just too close to the bed, so I had to move it forward. So I moved it forward to about here, and I had this little nook of games. The idea was that I had the nook of games behind, all tidy away, and I also had perfect access to the cables behind the TV. Move this out of the way. Didn't really end up working like that. It pretty much worked like that, but it just proved a bit too cumbersome. So when I got this, I knew that wall was just redundant now. So yeah, all the gaming's done on this TV. And here's the collection, the main collection. Tra-la-la-la-la-la. Oh dear. So that's Christmas in a nutshell, isn't it? Yeah. Let's stay. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, Xbox games here. This used to be DVDs until like 2 or 3 days ago. And I kicked all the DVDs out, and I had actually I had a little too much Xbox games to fit. So I tried out a couple I was less sure on, and I managed to whittle down the collection to just about fit, plus all this overflow up here. Thank God. Harmony just whispered, "Thank God." I don't know if you hear that. She really thinks I have too many.
You're not a hoarder or anything.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Yeah, and of course, I recently also kicked all the Xbox out of here. This used to have all these games in it, but there were just too many, and it was piling up all around here, so I kicked them all out, and then I bought more, and now it's full. So yeah, I've also got a couple DVDs here. Oh, video game themed one for you. Here's a funny little crude video game style series, Code Monkeys. It's a pixel animated show about game developers in like, the 70s. It's actually kind of interesting. Yeah, we got the Wii games over here. Of course, I never used to play Wii because the Wii U was in the lounge room. I couldn't be bothered going in there half the time. I didn't set up the Wii in here, but now that I've actually set the Wii U up, I've actually been playing quite a bit more Wii, and I really am liking it. It's very nice. So if you kind of come in here a bit, no, I'll quickly go over this. Yeah, we've got the PS3 here, Master Chief, PS3 controller, just a standard DualShock. 3DS. That's the entirety of my 3DS collection after approximately 1 year now. It would have been 1 year ago that I bought the 3DS console, and that's 3 weeks of PSP. So you can see how much more I'm enjoying the PSP than I was the 3DS. Nothing against the 3DS. I don't know. The PSP has just captured me immediately. So yeah, and then we got DS games in this section here, cased. We've got a bunch of other little doodads down here, controller that I need to repair. Now this thing here, apart from this cheat book, is all loose game storage. So we've got some DS loose games here. These are a couple of the more premium titles. We've got a lot of the rest of the overflow in this little wallet I got for $2 at Kmart a little while ago. Then we got all various UMDs. That recently filled one of these, 5 UMDs. And these two are probably the most interesting ones. This is where and there's I don't know if you can see that there, but there's a gun pedal for PS1 there. These are official Sony PlayStation disc wallets. This one, I believe, this is the good one. Yeah, this is the good one. It's like pretty factory fresh. Got mostly PS1 stuff in there. And this one, when I actually found it, I got this in a lot on eBay. I got $25 for 2 PS1 consoles, stack of games in here, a bunch of accessories. It was a great lot. But yeah, I realized later that the felt inserts were actually missing from this one, so it could scratch discs. So what I've started doing is replacing it with different colored felts of the PS1 logo. And I've got the rest of them under my bed. I just haven't been able to bother to get off my ass and fix them. But yeah, so that's a project I'm going, and I believe Mum's just arrived home, and apparently we're having burgers. Say hello to YouTube, Mother.
He's 400 subscribers.
Okay, goodbye, Mother.
Don't give me to your mom.
Okay,
Excuse me, 400 subscribers.
450, thank you very much.
Oh, it's going up.
Yes, it has indeed. Alright. This brings us back to the door. So we can like quickly whip around here.
To the door, yay.
This is the door. It's pretty close, homie.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Getting all in your personal space.
Okay, Pokédex Diamond and Pearl poster from my youth. That's one I've had since I was about 10. And it's a nice one. Gen 4 was my gen, so yeah. This is my current cross-off list for my Pokemon Yellow playthrough. These symbols are a whole bunch of shorthand that only I know, and there's another one over there that means another thing.
He's had that since I started dating him.
The only good Star Wars, in my opinion. Like, frankly, I don't like the original trilogy. Fight me. Apart from Return of the Jedi, I do like Return of the Jedi. I just don't like the first two. I do like Episode 3 as a background action movie, and 7 because it's like the first one but faster. But anyway, let's get back onto track. Up here, bunch of games that I have doubles of for whatever reason, just put there to display and not take up shelf space. So yeah, mostly just stuff I like. And we come up here. You'll probably be able to be seeing Harmony now. Get back there, Harmony. Here are my English Yu-Gi-Oh games. So yeah, I've collected almost every single one. I've collected all of the Game Boy Advance standard era Yu-Gi-Oh ones, but not the GX ones. So yeah, that's there, and I just put them up there to display as sort of my wall of Yu-Gi-Oh, and they fall down all the damn time, and thank God that they are in the box protectors. But I've changed the kind of blue tech I use now, so I think they'll stay on. And of course, if you look over there, we have all the Japanese ones I have. Not a complete set yet, but working on it. Except for one that's also hidden behind one of those VHS tapes there, but anyway. And then we got, this actually has an N64 in it, which is spare, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to sell it. And this PS1 carry case also has the console in it, but yeah. I think you might actually use that as a messenger bag once I can clean it up. But yeah, so yeah, we'll come back around. Have a nice look at everything again. A bunch of DVD storage in here, CD, random stuff. We're talking about the gaming setup now, so we won't dwell on that. If you come over here, these are my premium titles of the 6th gen. The stuff here is all stuff that is either a special edition, like say Tomb Raider Anniversary Collector's Edition, or Juice 2 Collector's Edition, or it's another good example. What's a cheap one? I don't know. It's either a special edition or it's worth more than $30 Australian. So that's the criteria to get on this shelf. And you know, I've got some pretty good stuff. So here you can see all my most interesting finds. Of course, the one I go on about... Whoop, sorry, Ouija. Get you back on there. Yeah, he's just held on with an Allen key stuck through a hole. But yeah, Tengai, that's the one I go on about the most. Got it for 75 cents, worth upwards of $100. So yeah, that's probably my probably my single most valuable game. Got a bunch of the Mario games, which have had the value. Shadow of the Colossus, my $1 game series, if you remember that. So yeah, that sits there. Sly 2 and 3. I have Sly 1, but it's over there, and it's not worth $30, so I didn't get on here. Yeah, what else is cool? Alien Hominid, Silent Hill 2, Gun Valkyrie. Ooh, a minty fresh Halo 2 Collector's Edition. I mean, look at that. See any rust? Neither do I. It's perfect. Perfect. Hard to find easy to find the Collector's Edition. It's more common than the Standard Edition. Hard to find one that nice. Scarface, World is Yours Collector's Edition. Yeah, just a bunch of stuff. Gradius. But yeah, that's the premier titles. Then we come up here, just a bunch of Game Boy Advance games that I have in box. Game Boy games. There's a bless you. There's a Japanese copy of Falsebound Kingdom on GameCube. I have nowhere else to put it, so I put it there. And that Yu-Gi-Oh CD there, Yu-Gi-Oh! Music to Duel By, is actually the one I listened to as a child. Cool story behind that. What happens is I went into because I borrowed it from the library, my local library, a bunch of times when I was a kid. And about a year ago, I went into the library, which I don't do as often anymore. And they often sell off the books and DVDs and stuff that they're like striking from the record for whatever reason. And I just so happened to go on the day that they put that exact CD out. And so I bought it for 50 cents, and like that is just a piece of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Childhood right there. That is mine to keep. And I also bought myself a nice copy version and the songbook and all that. But yeah, that's the special one. And it still plays perfectly after all these years. So yeah, it's nice. And also, it's these Video Easy signs there. Video Easy being basically an Australian version of Blockbuster. Although we also had Blockbuster. Had past tense, obviously. But yeah, Harmony got me those as her local Video Easy was going out of business and thought I would like them. On the other side, they say PS3 and 360, but of course I keep them like that, and they're a nice little display piece. And now we come over to here. Oh, Harmony knocked all the pins over. And now here's the CRT, which used to be in my primary gaming display for a number of years in its original cabinet. But yeah, it's of course it no longer needs to be the primary display. So I've gutted all the systems out of it. I took the VHS player even. It runs on composite to that TV. It's better. And this TV is now solely a light gun TV and a cartridge system TV, because I rarely play cartridge systems. Like, I recently got a bunch of more games for the Mega Drive, but I just so rarely feel the need to play them. It's just, I don't know. I drift more towards the 6th gen and a bit of 5th gen. And of course now I'm rediscovering the 1st gen of HD systems, which has been very nice and friggin' expanding and like all that. But yeah, I just do not play these systems enough, to the point where I'm actually thinking of selling nearly my entire cartridge collection, just getting rid of it. Because I just get rid of the Mega Drive, get rid of my Super Nintendo, and replace it with a Super Famicom and a Game Boy Player 2, the good one, the Japanese ones. Replace that, and yeah, and also selling off almost all of my Nintendo 64 collection, apart from the... Actually, maybe I'd just grab an EverDrive, but the only ones I'd keep would be the Pokemon Stadiums, Mario Kart 64, but even then, like, the PAL version runs slow, so I kind of want the NTSC version, and I gotta get an NTSC console and all that. And Mario 64, because I like Mario 64. But I don't know if the PAL speed is different on that one. In any case, otherwise, yeah, it's just a light gun cabinet. It's got all my light gun games down here. It's got the two AMP2. This is one I just need to test before deciding whether I want it or not. But it's got the two light gun games for the Xbox. I know there's a third, but it's also on PS2, so I don't care that much. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why the PS2 is the more desirable version. But anyway, getting on. Yeah, Guitar Hero guitars. Do like a bit of Guitar Hero. Don't get to play it as often as I'd like. And yeah, this is my entire pretty much console cartridge collection here. You see, like, a lot of the decorations I've stuck to this over the year have kind of gotten a bit into disrepair and I haven't fixed them up yet. And I eventually will, unless I just take them all apart. Oh yeah, a couple of drawers under here. Controllers and cables. Yeah, and is there anything else major I need to go over? That's basically set up. I mean, I just do most of my gaming from my bed here, controlling my hand, looking at the screen. It's not optimal. It's not good for my back, but I do want to get a nice armchair that I can game from. New set of drawers, put the TV a bit lower. I did actually change out the stand on that TV. Originally it was a much flimsier, one of those double leg stands. But no, I just bought like a $20 steel VESA compatible stand on eBay, and that's been brilliant. Yeah, so I want to find a better game. I think maybe actually a beanbag to just sort of keep on the bed and just sit on the beanbag. That might work. But yeah, all kinds of ideas like that. You can see we've got surround sound. The other one's fallen over, but haven't hooked up the surround sound again yet. Oh, which reminds me, I didn't talk about the video switch situation on here. So the way I get all these consoles to the TV, should have said this before, but I forgot. So basically, we use HDMI. I've also got a Chromecast back there. Oh, that's the one problem with this Viano TV. Does not like Chromecast surround sound signals, 5.1 at all, and it just goes whenever you try and send it through. So I have to use the AV receiver to do that. Otherwise, I've got to manually every single episode switch back to stereo, which is just annoying. Stereo it likes fine, but does not like Netflix's 5.1, which is really annoying. But yeah, so we use HDMI. PS3's HDMI. And the PS2, Wii, and 360 are all joined by a multi-system component cable, which has a switch actually back here. It's not a very clean system, and I have to like dig this little. I need to mount this somewhere. I need to dig this little switch out and change the system every time I want to change from Wii to PS or GameCube rather to PS2 to 360, so it's not elegant, but it does the job for now. And that routes in through here, and the second, which has two component ports, and the second component port is taken up by the Xbox. Fortunately, it's a PAL Xbox, so it doesn't have all the fancy, 720p, 1080i features that the NTC ones do, but component looks very nice, and it certainly does the job. And then I've also got that going through the composite, and yeah, so unfortunately that means if I want to use one of those consoles, I need to have the AV receiver on, which is a little annoying, but it sounds good, so I'll work with it. Oh yeah, this little coffee, it's actually an espresso box that I've got here that I bought, and this houses the PS2 memory cards, because I only use official memory cards now, so I've got a whole bunch of them in here, which are all genreized, and I'm working out a sorting system. This has like a DSi and some PSP memory cards, just for no real reason. And under here we have my archive PS2 memory cards, which, because I actually collect PS2 and PS1 memory card save icons, which is, yeah, it's a weird thing to collect, but I like doing it. And I'll do a video about that sometime. Yeah, you can see other bits of paraphernalia around, and yeah, I think that just about covers my 2019-2020 gaming setup. Yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, okay, so yeah, tell me what you think of my setup. Anything, anything interesting you see, any cool games, any ways you think I can improve it? I don't know, whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Some of you guys said you'd wanted to see this, so yeah, now I've shown it to you. How are we going for time, Harmony? What's it say there?
24 minutes. 24
minutes, oh yeah, that's respectable. The last one of these I tried to do was about an hour, so that's a lot better. Yeah, I've got a bunch of storage under the bed, but yeah, that's about it. This wasn't a full collection video, it's just a setup video, so I'm not going to friggin' itemize every single interesting thing I've got. Maybe, if you guys want me to do that, maybe sometime in the new year. But yeah, that's it. So, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.